Friends, it's been so long. I have been driving. I don't know why I did that. Driving. Like maybe you're not listening to the audio, so this means driving apparently. All right, today we are talking about how to identify your competitor's weakness at scale based on customer negative reviews of their product. If you're a seller, one of the most important things for you to do is to understand your competitive environment. Now, often you're competing against a spreadsheet or the default way of doing things and not an actual other SaaS software, etc. But sometimes you are. And sometimes the incumbent player is so well known that you would be silly not to mention them. April Dunford had a blog post about this recently, that if they're the 800-pound gorilla in the room, you might as well mention them because everyone knows their name. So today what we're going to do is help you evaluate a market's worth of negative reviews of your customer and then help you use ChatGPT to position against those negative reviews. And you can do this all programmatically. I want to accomplish this video in under 15 minutes, but I like to take my time. I don't want to rush it. So if I can't, I'm going to push this to YouTube, and I won't get it on LinkedIn because LinkedIn's like, no one's going to watch a 15-minute video on LinkedIn. All right, let's dive in. We're going to look at the sales intelligence tool. We're only going to use 2 or 3 tools to do this. There's not a lot of magic here. It's mostly in the thinking as opposed to the different tools. AI is pretty amazing because it can do a lot of things. All right, let's dive in. So I'm going to start with the sales intelligence space. So G2, and I'll talk about what's on the left too, sales intelligence. So this is kind of the place that I play in. Sales intelligence software 2023. Okay, great. So Zoom Info, LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, Apollo, Cogniz. I have met multiple people from this company in the last 2 weeks. Cogniz. Yeah, not gonna try it. I'm done. This company. So embarrassing. All right, let's open 6sense, Sales Nav, Zoom Info. I think that's it. I do like me some Aller. Oh, and there's one company that I really, really like recently. Similar web. I really, really like. Let's see if I can find them. Oh, Dapt is good. I like Ocean. I've been playing with their stuff recently, and it's lovely. Okay, well, I can't find it. So all we're going to do here is we're going to use this tool called Appify, and you get $5 a month for free, which is a surprising amount. So once you're logged in, you just go store, and then you search for G2. Click here, and then you're going to get this input section. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. So all you're going to do is just grab these little snippets here, Apollo, and I'll show you what we're doing next. Whoa. 6sense had that's very interesting. 6sense had an ad for 6sense not to go to the G2 page because they didn't want to pay G2. Revenue for sales. Let's actually do both because I don't know what the difference is. Sales Navigator. Sales Navigator is not quite a competitor in this regard. You can watch me whip and watch me nay. All right, Sales OS. I spent a lot of time last night mucking with this. Aller. 6sense. Yeah, this is really interesting because I think that last time I did this, I pulled it for, 149 reviews. So it's different. This is quite interesting because I wonder if Zoom Info and Apollo have different pages. Let's actually just kind of look this up to make sure I'm getting all of the versions of Apollo. Okay, good. That makes sense. Let's see if Zoom Info has 1,000 versions. It probably does. Marketing OS. Okay, let's pull Marketing OS just because we can. It's not too expensive. All right, so what this is going to do is it's going to get all the reviews. So I'm going to say I want the last 1,000 reviews, and I want to sort by. Now, I had previously sorted by lowest rated, but there's a time component to this too, which is really important. So I'm going to I'm going to stick with lowest rated here because I really do want to be able to position against these companies. And so I want to know the 1,000 things that people hate the most. Even if things have changed, generally those reviews and impressions will stick around for a while. So, and I do have to increase the memory. So you have to increase the memory here. Give it a gig. I think the default is 128 megs. So I'm just going to hit start. So don't worry about this crazy UX. The answers will just come here, and it is very, very, very cheap. Look, they actually provide a down to the, so this isn't even a penny yet. It's a tenth of a penny. I just spent 2/10 of a penny. Only the best for you, internet viewers. Oh, 5 cents. 4,000 results. So I spent 5 cents for 4,000 results. I mean, technically I'm still in the free tier, but oh, and it resets tomorrow, so I could go ham. I want all fields, and I just want the CSV. So great. Now I've got this kind of amazing data set here. Let's take a look. I'll explain this to you because there's going to be some goofy fields. All right. So this answers one field is the things that people don't like. US-centric, hard enough, right? So what I'm going to do is, we have a lot here. What I'm really interested in is the top worst ones by company. So let's just bring this into Google Sheets. Import. I'm a big Google Sheets fan. If I don't have to use Excel, I won't. Sometimes I do, though, because Google Sheets pukes. Replace current sheet. All right. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to overwhelm. I'm going to upload this into ChatGPT. I don't want to overwhelm ChatGPT, so I'm just going to focus on the negative reviews. I'm going to call this negative. This might be -2. Oh, interesting. Well, what is... Oh, that's right, because we sorted by negative. These are just all of the various categories. This is really interesting. Okay, I forgot about that. So count. So what I really want to do is I want the most amount of text. So I'm going to use this len feature, and all it does is just count the total amount of characters. Okay, well, let's use ChatGPT. I want to count all of the characters in 3 cells. What's the Google Sheets formula? It's always helpful if you give examples: A1, B1, A2, B2, C2, and with one number coming out. It's okay if you spell things wrong. Oh. Oh, it's so dumb. I just, okay. I didn't know you could even do that, actually. Wow, that's incredible. All right, so all I'm doing is, let's see, did this go to the end? No, let's paste it to the end. All I'm doing is getting the most amount of characters. That's what I care the most about. I also don't like to let's do date published. That's really helpful. Well, I'll keep industry. I try to make the reviews English names because ChatGPT has a better job kind of intuitively understanding them. So if I make a mistake, this publish date's really important because I can ask questions, right? 2016. I think probably those are going to be bad fits for me. So I'm going to ask it to filter out. I don't care as you might care about where the region it came from or the verified or if they were incentivized, which is included here. The products logo is really important because this is how the model is going to determine exactly what to look. Now, remember, we had zoom info and a couple of other things. So I'm actually just going to replace this with the name of the company so that I don't need this by product line. Now, you might need this by product line, but I don't. Oh, what am I doing? I'll just do a find and replace. $0.06. 6 cents. Match entire cell contacts. Great. 6 cents. Sales. Sorry you have to watch me do this. I know this is not really helping you here. I hope you put me on. I hope I sound like a chipmunk to you. Replace. Imagine entire cell content. Replace all. This is kind of the nature of growth work sometimes where you have to. Aller's good. 6 cents is good. Apollo. I just want this to look really nice because I care about this. It's good that they found 1,000 instances because we scraped 1,000 reviews. I think in the future we won't have to do this. You'll just be able to have a conversation. All right, this is okay. I think I can use a trick here. Zoom info. I think I can say well, there is a trick here where you could just say find the start of the cell. Actually, I have a better trick. Since this is all that's selected, I can just do zoom info and I hit Apple command down and I just paste. So it pastes all, which is just a good trick generally to have. All right, so let's keep the users. The score might be interesting. Segment might be interesting. Incentivize. The title is really useful. So what I really care about is the title and the product. So product title. Oh, look, we got the emoji. That's lovely. All right, I think, and let's just label this. I like to label blueprintgtm.com, and let's call this G2 Sales Intelligence Reviews. Now, I have tried this before with so many different competitors, and ChatGPT has a really hard time with so many different competitors, even the data analytics feature. So generally, I might do this one by one, but I'm going to download this. I'm going to download the CSV here, and I'm going to tell it just to focus on 6 cents. Or let's use zoom info. Let's pick on the 800-pound gorilla, will we? New chat. Okay, before I incorporate the G2 stuff, I have found that G2 reviews sometimes they're super rosy. And so what I want to do first is I want to have ChatGPT help me identify other negative comments about ZoomInfo, summarize that, then we're going to go into another session. So I've got this Whisper Sync plugin here, which you can just find on the Google Chrome store. Just search for Whisper, ChatGPT Chrome plugin, you should find it. The nice thing, I try to do this on my iPad because then I don't have to pay for this feature. I actually use an API key here, so I've already spent 5 cents, so in for 5 pennies, in for a pound. I'm trying to find sites that aren't like Capterra or G2 that people have posted public reviews about ZoomInfo, ideally negative reviews. I'm looking for negative sentiment that has happened in the last 6 months about ZoomInfo. Places that come to mind are like Twitter or Reddit. When doing the search, I want you to use an X-ray search to limit to only comments that have been made in the last 6 months. Now, go forth. It's always impressive to me that it knows Zoom, capital Z, capital I, and Twitter and Reddit. Like, it's really good at these proper noun captures. See, you see how it's using cite here? So it's really helpful to give it some suggestions on how to do the Google search. Okay. Yeah, do it. Negative ZoomInfo reviews. So I'm gonna, after, you can do this after thing here, after 2022. Oh, this is a really interesting thing. You might find versus pages that companies have created. So ZoomInfo versus 6 Sense. So yeah, so G2 has created these programmatically, but really what's interesting is, yeah, so let's do this. And let's do site 6sense.com. So you can say, I only want, yeah. Wow, this is great because now what they have done is they've compared these two platforms. Now, these are programmatic pages, which this sucks. Sorry, 6 Sense. This is not great. Okay, this is good. Yeah, I don't like these pages personally. Oh, this is interesting. I haven't found this page before, but this is programmatic SEO. You should have a conversation with Thanuka if you're interested in this. He is building a great program to do this. So if I wanted to understand how ZoomInfo thinks they are better than 6 Sense, this is the page I would go scrape. These versus pages are great. So I'm going to ditch this approach here because I haven't found anything really good, and we got to get to it. So let's go back to, we're going to start with the data analytics. And all I'm going to do is, before I upload the file, I always like to give it context about what I'm doing. I'm about to feed you a review file with information about the top 1,000 negative reviews for a variety of different sales intelligence software. I want you to act as a product marketer and analyze the most thoughtful and specific negative reviews just of ZoomInfo. So the first thing you're going to need to do is sort column A by ZoomInfo and ignore any other rows that aren't ZoomInfo. Then there is a column that provides character count. So that is column G, called count. I misspoke before. Product is column B, and that's where you're going to want to filter out based on Zoom info. So what I want you to do is find the top 100 reviews that have happened in the last year, and you can sort by publish date, column H, and then find the reviews where the count is the most in column G. These are the ones where people have said the most in the last year. Let's just do the filtering first. So again, you need to find only the products that are Zoom info with the highest count that must have been published in the last 6 months according to column H. All right, that was a mouthful. I probably should have done some of that filtering ahead of time because ChatGPT does get drunk the longer you go on. So you have to find this right balance of context, or you can give it enough context, but not so much context that it just goes insane. Oh, oh, you want the file? Thirsty much? If you insist. If you insist. AI is going to come for me first when it's sentient. You were the snarkiest one of everyone that I had to interact with, Jordan. All right, we're 21 minutes, so sadly, you won't see this on LinkedIn. You're going to have to come here to the YouTube to watch this full video. And if you're hearing this, you're already here. I knew where you were. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. ChatGPT is like, you don't know what you're talking about, Jordan. And if I do get it wrong, sometimes I'll read it, try to recorrect in the prompt, but it does this. It's like, Jordan, no good. The other great thing about the analytics feature is it does seem to correct itself more often than other versions of ChatGPT. When it attempts things, it has a little bit more slack to fix things. Wow. So apparently the date time values are different, which is interesting. Yeah, this is why if you think about the most effective way to do this, you do need to do some pre-work for ChatGPT. Yeah, I think I'm going to give up on the time zone stuff in a second here because I don't want it to go down a rabbit hole. But as long as we're just sitting here watching the rabbit hole. Ooh, a brute force. Okay, I'm probably just gonna stop this. Give up on the. Oh, great. Boom. Great. Now, what I always like to do is I like to bring in the actual text into ChatGPT. So I believe that 6,000 characters. And let's ask this question. Max character count ChatGPT GPT-4. Okay. It looks like it's somewhere between 2,000 and 8,000. So I can bring in the last. Let's do this. Bring in the raw text of the reviews one by one. Then ask me. So the data analytics feature is really good, but unfortunately, you can't use any AI with it. You can't actually use GPT-4 in the spreadsheet. It has to just write Python code, which is great. It will do a lot of amazing things. But it's not as good as GPT-4, of course. So yeah, great. So it's just going to print this review. Now the next one. Now the other way that I probably should have done this is I can sort the spreadsheet by that character count and paste in all the contents into a ChatGPT splitter. That's probably what I should have done and ask it to do it this way, because now I have to wait for it to print it out. And I'll just show you how to do that while it's doing its thing. ChatGPT splitter. So there's another one I used to use that's broken, which is here. I think this is broken. Yeah. There is a Vercel one here. Yeah. So you just can paste this in and it will do all of the splitting for you. So if I were to do this, I would go sort, zoom info, count, sort seed A, and I would probably just do this equals concat. Yeah, I typed out the whole thing. Okay, that has to be an array formula. But basically, I could just paste in a bunch of these inside of this ChatGPT splitter, and it will split this into two parts. Yes, can you bring in the next 5 at once? Okay, now it's really helpful to, this is also useful for you because you want to be able to understand if ChatGPT is doing this right. No, the full thing, please. So yeah, it does this because it, great. Give me just the second review, but the full text across all the review columns. Great. Now, what I want it to do is I'm going to ask it to do this sentiment analysis. Now do sentiment. Now take the themes. Actually, I'm going to do one more, and I apologize here. I know this is long. Now do one more full text for all of the third review. I think zoom info bot discover org. Yeah, this is interesting. This is actually providing reviews of discover.org. So my guess is that those things were blended in. And this is why it's really, really, really helpful to see the actual outputs here. Can you review the entire sheet and remove any rows where, well, maybe it's part of, actually don't know what this is. Let's just like take a look. Zoom info. Okay. Let's do a sentiment analysis of all. I think this is like, it's very helpful to like look at these reviews to make sure that what we were contact info, right? This seems right. Zoom info. So it's really helpful, and I could search for discover.org here. Yeah, so this was 2019, right? So you can see how I ask it to filter out old reviews, but it's really, really helpful for me to do this instead. So let's actually do this. Let's filter. Can you go back to the original data frame and remove any review? Actually, I should just do this here. So let's actually filter by condition. Text contains 2022, 23. I want just this year. Text does not contain. Text starts with 2023. Let's just see what we have here. There we go. Okay. How many total reviews do we have? 88. Let's do this. Good. So all I'm doing here is I want to make sure that we're getting recent reviews. And this is why AI will get there, I promise you. But when because it's a black box today, so you need to be very thoughtful about this black box, because sometimes it will do things that you don't expect it to. And the way to prevent it from doing that is to do a lot of this filtering yourself. So, and I probably do want to combine the fields myself. Let's see how many total reviews. 156 reviews. That's probably enough. Combine. Actually, I'll leave ChatGPT to do this. So download. I think it will download the current view. Let's just make sure that that's the case. Not the case. Okay, let's do this. A little trick here. Great. This looks right. Download, comma separated values. All right, I'm gonna start a, let's see if there's any, yeah, there's nothing pretty interesting here. So let's start a new session. This is what it's like using AI. Sometimes you learn. This is a CSV file with reviews of the last 2 years of Zoom Info. The review _1, review _2, review _3, review _4 are all of the negative reviews. What I want you to do is do sentiment analysis across all 4 of these columns and tell me the biggest problems that are discussed about Zoom Info. I also want you to separately do the same thing for the title field, column A, and give me 2 different sentiment analysis for the title field and all of the review fields. But before you do this, work out step by step the exact way in which you're going to do sentiment analysis that a product marketer would find extremely useful. So I always like to tell it who I am here. I'm a product marketer. I'm looking to learn a little bit more. I created some really good Doom lyrics here. Uh, this is MF Doom is a fantastic artist. Like, so I created some B2B sales rap. I'll just let you pause this video if you want to. I thought it was pretty good. Oh, I got distracted, so it didn't like it. I also created some artistic images. I wanted to see if it would put an emoji on an outfit in the style of like a famous designer. I think it did a pretty good job. Look at this thing. Can you see that? Look, she has like an emoji on her fancy outfit. I have a lot of fun with AI. I spend a bunch of time on it. The other day I created my friend Eric fighting spin tax. It's totally ridiculous. All right. Yeah, do it. Pre-trained sentiment analysis model. Generally, it likes to do n-grams. So I really like n-grams because they're phrases of 2 to 3 keyword pairs. So if people say like, didn't load or UX was slow, right? Those pairs come up often, and it's a pretty basic but helpful way to understand count. Now, these reviews aren't big enough for me to do that, but it's usually a really great way to understand sentiment here. Vader, text blob. This is the other nice thing about the data analytics feature is that you don't really have to know terminology to get it to work really well, but you can ask it to show you the various options so that you can pick and say, what is this generally good for? How do product marketers generally analyze sentiment around reviews, which is probably how I would do. Updated, wrong, expensive, poor, bad, worse. This is really interesting. Yeah, see, these are single world, shady. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay, good. How do we get more insights here? Before we do more work, can you bring in a superior data analyst who is familiar with your technology and that knows its limits, but that can extract clear sentiment out of this, as words like bad don't help me as a product marketer. Generally, I find it's good to re-emphasize a notion. I'm a product marketer. I'm a product marketer. I'm a product marketer. And I call this moving the 800-pound hippo. I think I did this math here, and it's not 800-pound. Hippos like are very, I think they're heavier than 800 pounds. Okay. Okay, yeah. Generally, I'm like, yeah, it sounds reasonable. The nice thing is you have a couple of options here before you have to engage your brain. You're like, yo, ChatGPT, bring in the best data analyst. Like, what would you suggest? Emotional recognition. That's really interesting. This contextual tagging is also really interesting. ChatGPT has also taught me things that I have gone back into other sessions of ChatGPT with. I don't think it can use Spacey inside. Yeah. I knew it. Yeah, that's why I said, tell me your limitations. It's like, I can't use Spacey. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The other thing about responding really succinctly means that it has fewer time to get drunk. So sometimes you want to strategically use your prompts small, right? You don't want to write as much because ChatGPT seems to get drunk less fast. So if you can just ask to proceed. The other thing I do all the time is if you need more context but can't respond in a single, you can ask me to say continue. This is a really good hack because you understand the context window of ChatGPT and you can say, you shouldn't feel bound by that. If you need my help to just say go, allow me to say go. And then if you want to see the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, you can like watch the Python. Look at this, isn't this crazy? it's like, oh, that's wrong. I guess that's wrong. I should try it again. Oh, look, this looks like we define the helper function, then rerun the relevant parts of the code. This is why AI is going to destroy us all, is that when it makes a mistake, it can instantly try again. Oh, frustrated, confused, angry. So it is also helpful to review the work here because you can see these are emotion keywords. So it's really, this is why I didn't do a, yeah, this is why you need to give it some more horrible, terrible. Cost and value. Okay, let's now pull in the longest reviews from the entire data set into the chat. This is really, really helpful, and unfortunately I've tried this to feed it's like so meta, to feed the OpenAI API my credentials into data analytics tool to use that to run sentiment analysis. But at that point, you should just do this inside of Google Sheets. All right, we're gonna try one. I'm gonna try one other like silly hack to see if this might actually get us a better result since there aren't that many. Let's see what the splitter will give us. 7 parts. All right, so I'm gonna abandon everything I've done here today. I did have some. Well, actually, I'm gonna show you one more thing because this is helpful. But then I'm going to bring the reviews into ChatGPT regular and get it to summarize. Can you run n-gram analysis on all of the review fields and give me the top 2 to 3 word n-grams? So n-grams are very helpful because they will be these snippets of text that will help you understand how people are thinking. So it's not just like bad, sucks, poor. So n-gram is a really good hack here for the data analytics tool. Auto renewal. Okay, contact information. So this is actually really helpful. Now, I know this about Zoom Info, that they will just auto renew you. They will get you on the terms and conditions and be like, well, you're supposed to cancel on a blue moon if the 3 dwarves were present outside your window and you didn't do that. If you want to watch a really good sketch around this, Nathan for you does an incredible sketch around getting a gas refund. It's kind of like that with quality or accuracy of the data provided, the sales team. So better buying experience, 3, contact information, 2, and then the auto renewal, right? So better contacts, auto renewal, and sales team. Now, great. Now that was actually helpful. So let's do like let's do the next. I want to pull this. This is probably the most useful part of the video. I do want to pull the other n-grams because it's going to give me a better set of the entire data. But then I'm going to intent data. Okay. Pull in the sentences around intent data. Pull in all of the sentences around intent data into the chat here. Again, you're just going to get the best using ChatGPT with the context in ChatGPT. So if you can, this long prompt splitter is probably the way to go. That it's not possible with larger data sets, so this is still a useful process that I'm teaching you. Yeah, this is okay. Let's create a new session here, new chat. We're going to use the regular one and copy the instructions. Let's do this side by side here so you can. So you paste the instructions and then you can paste in basically all of these bad reviews. The nice thing about this is it asks ChatGPT not to write this long-winded response. All right. So now let's go full screen here. Great. I sell a product that monitors job postings as a source of intent. We have monitored over 15 million jobs, and this is especially valuable because job postings will tell you the time that something is important, will tell you what to say based on the context of the description, and which companies to reach out to. I want you to act as a product marketer, taking all of these negative reviews into account and tell me specifically how I should adjust my product and position to position against ZoomInfo's weaknesses as the reviews talk about. So really, yeah, ease of use. So I should talk about ease of use. Oh, great. Search filters. Okay, great. People like the search filters. Good. I should talk about that. Data accuracy, really important. Speed and reliability, lag time, occasional bugs, and data. Wow, that's interesting. Visual data representation. I never would have thought that. Yeah, real-time data. That's really important. Accuracy, of course, always. The UI, which is actually one of our strengths. Insights from the job postings. That's super interesting. So that's kind of what I'm doing right here. So providing ways for people to take some insights away is really interesting. On the integrations is I don't have any integrations right now, so this is a good note. Not just who but the when approach. Yeah. So timing, rich context, targeted outreach, industry specific insights. Oh, construction companies. Interesting. That's a really interesting insight for someone, but not for me. All right. 50 minutes. That's like half of the Titanic. I hope this is helpful to you. I have found that you need to go down the path of ChatGPT to fully understand what it's good at and when to adjust modes, right? Data analytics versus a ChatGPT splitter versus filtering down some of the data yourself or using other tools. So I've got another video where I use ChatGPT Summarizer on the page. So really the best way to use AI today is to figure out how can you do the greatest, most specific amount of pre-work so that when you get there, that AI can take it over from there. And you can see how a perfect example of this is like, I just ran into a lot of problems when I used the analytics tool to try to filter stuff for me. It spent too many calories doing the filtering. I should have done that. I got a little lazy. Also, not starting with better prompts that will help to allow me to think through the process would be very, very helpful. So I probably should have started with the 2 to 3 engram analysis because I know that to be useful. So one of the things you can do before you create a 50-minute video, where there's maybe 26 seconds of value here, is to actually dance with regular ChatGPT and say, here's what I'm trying to accomplish, here's what I'm trying to do. Now tell me different things that are possible within the limits of this platform. I hope this is helpful to you. At least now you should know how you can get reviews of your competitors, how to take that into ChatGPT, how to act as a product marketer and get the key negative sentiment out of those things and position against those things. Now, I know this video took a long time, but just think about how long this would have taken someone without AI, right? You would have had to read through all of these text snippets and copy and paste them. It just would have been a disaster. So AI has the potential to really help you understand a market's worth of data, analyze, synthesize, and educate you. Have an absolutely wonderful Sunday. Thanks for watching. Let's see. If you got this, okay, not if you skip to the end, but if you got this far, what I want you to do is I want you to send me a very specific emoji. Let's see if I can find a good one for you. I want you to send me the evil eye emoji. Now, you're going to have to probably Google this, but if you do, send me the evil eye emoji, and I will be very grateful that you watched this far. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. Bye.